Training up a new generation of workers, it's not as easy as it may sound as culture shifts continue. Tonight, KIMT News 3's Sananda McCall focuses on Generation Z's work habits and tells us how emotional resilience plays a factor.
By the year 2030, Generation Z, also known as Zoomers, are set to take over the workforce by 30%. And as the general population ages, that number is expected to grow. But how does this generation stand against the workplaces of today?
They're very structured with their time. They really want to also have a balance with work and home.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Jana Koretz details trends she's noticed when it comes to Gen Z in the workplace.
Gen Z generation grew up with the internet.
One drawback of social media that it is home to the comparison trap, when people compare their lives to others based on scrolling through highlight reels of promotions, raises, and material gains, which impacts retention.
I think a lot of Gen Z maybe is just like, I deserve to get paid a livable wage, point blank, period.
I think we've accidentally created a culture that has a lot of emotional thinking.
Dr. Koretz says this could apply to both the older and younger crowd. However,
I'm hearing and seeing that Gen Z is a little more sensitive, right, to let's say, to constructive feedback or things like that, because I think partly there hasn't been a lot of focus on sitting with those feelings that are negative.
it's a list of experiences that differ from millennials and baby boomers. There's also the exposure to remote work, which became popular during the COVID pandemic.
When you're not in a professional setting, in a professional environment, it's very hard to understand the culture of the workplace.
On the other hand, Dr. Koretz says neither the older nor younger generation have been equipped with how to coexist in the workplace. The downside, totally destroying a company.
Can't last off of 60-year-olds forever. That only goes so far. You need younger ideas.
So how can talent be retained? Dr. Koretz says that's the magic question.
Compassion and curiosity is always the best approach. Instead of assuming that, whatever your Gen Zer is saying, it comes from a place of laziness or egocentricity or something like that, really thinking about their experience, how this generation it is different.
Work culture is a big thing. I think I know people who have started at different places and felt like they weren't really appreciated in that place of work.
Ultimately, with the goal of retirement, Dr. Koretz says saving for Zoomers can be hard due to consumption culture being promoted online. But only time will tell. In Rochester, Sananda McCall, KIMT News 3.
And the psychologist Sananda spoke with says there is hope that as Gen Z ages, like many, they will get wiser and possibly even end up in more leadership roles.